How frustrating it was to sit and watch this girl make these breathy, empty, idiotic comments. And I think the problem with women like this is that nobody ever told them off. She's obviously gotten away with this for a long time because this is embedded in her personality to just be so rude. So a couple months ago, I was on Fresh and Fit for the first time. I mean, maybe the only time, we'll find out. And there was this one woman who got kicked off the show, and here's what happened.
What about you? I know you had something that you wanted to say. Do you think modern day women are entitled on first dates?
Yes, because if not, then what?
Okay. So you think they are entitled, but it's valid?
If you're not going on a first date, then what are you doing?
Okay. So you feel that they should be entitled. They are entitled and
Yes.
they should be.
Yes.
Okay. Why should they be?
If you're trying to pursue a person, why would you not take them on a first date? And why would you not want to do something special and memorable for them? I always say people should date within their tax bracket, and they have their standards, and they have whatever it is.
I mean,
that
if we use
they'll
that logic,
accept.
most women don't make money to even date rich guys then, if we're going to use that tax bracket
Who
logic.
says?
So this girl, right off the bat, starts with this cutesy, lean in, say something that means nothing. I mean, it's just gobbledygook coming out of her mouth. And I tried really hard to be patient with her. She's got a baby at home, a little, I think it was a little girl who's around 3 years old. And she, left her, as she calls him, baby daddy. Doesn't even call him her husband or the child's father. Left the baby daddy at home to, come boobs out on Fresh and Fit for whatever reason. I can't imagine leaving your child home alone to go out to dress like a hoe and go on a podcast.
She belongs to the streets.
We're living in different times.
According to who?
Most women don't make as much money as the guys that they're trying to date.
According to who?
Biology. And just in general, women want men that make more money than them.
Okay.
So I just don't, I mean, even in your situation, your guy's not in the same tax bracket as you. I mean, your guy's not the same tax bracket as you, which is why you're able to stay home and take care of the child, which is good. But I'm saying that, I don't understand that logic.
If she had a brain, she could have explained it and said, most people hang out in a similar social class and date within their social class. Isn't that true? I mean, if you're broke, you're hanging out with people who are, similar to you, or if you're in the lower middle or upper middle class, you're generally hanging out because you live in a proximity to these same people. Of course, there are exceptions, but I kind of at first understood where she was coming from, but she can't explain anything.
No comment.
She just drops that, and because
That's
she
just
heard
your
somebody say it.
perspective. That's just your perspective.
But my perspective is how you live your life. That women don't date in their tax bracket because men make more money than the woman that they're with a lot of the times.
He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. I know most women that I know, the man makes more money in the relationship. Just is what it is. So she's saying that everyone dates in their tax bracket. I don't think this girl could identify a tax bracket if it hit her in the head.
That's what women find attractive. You're saying a woman should date in her tax bracket. In my head, I'm like, what? Most girls
I said
don't.
people should date within their tax bracket.
But do women actually do that?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, because that doesn't even apply to you.
Some women do.
She says,
yeah, but most women date men that make more money
you
than
don't
them,
understand how frustrating it was to sit and watch this girl make these breathy, empty, idiotic comments.
Stop it. Get some help.
And I just had to sit there, and I was being polite because, he's going around the table is the way it works, and he's having individual conversations with each woman. So I didn't want to just be rude. There were a couple times when I did interject. We'll get to that.
in general, or prefer it. So is it really dating in your tax bracket?
Yeah. Because before, you don't know what I did before, who I was before.
Sure. What were you doing before?
No
We want to
comment.
go into this conversation.
We don't need to go into that conversation.
Even, and I don't know how Myron stays so calm
So
night after
hey,
night.
when you met your
I don't-
guy, you guys were making the same money. That's where your belief system of being in
I'm
the
not
same
saying
tax
anything.
bracket comes
I'm
from.
not saying anything. You got it.
All right, this was it. She started doing this thing. She started doing this. You got it. You got it.
Oh! Ew!
However she says it. And that was her way of putting him down. And at the end of this conversation, or later in the show, not in this conversation, he said that she was being aggressive and acting like a man. And I wish I had had the wherewithal in the moment to say, I did say I don't think it was aggression. What it was passive aggression. Because she wasn't acting aggressive the way a man would. Women typically don't do that, but they play this passive-aggressive game where you just go, you got it, like a condescending insult. But she doesn't really have the guts to be aggressive with him. You'll see.
What the
Love of God.
Bruh, it's obvious.
Go back to your initial question.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Wait, is this your show?
It can be.
Do you know where you're at?
Yeah.
I think you need to, I don't know if you talk to him this way, but this is not that dynamic. You need to tone back I don't know whose show you think you are, if you think that this is your show or whatever. This is my show. I ask the questions. I'm open to dialogue, but need to be respectful about it and answer the questions that are being asked. And if I challenge a point that you make, feel free to either change your mind.
I'm respectfully saying you got it. I understand your perspective.
Sense, is what I'm trying to say.
And I understand your perspective.
And I'm asking you to clarify.
What you're saying. And I said no comment because I'm not going to speak on what I did before.
No, I'm not saying that.
It must have been something really spectacular and something she's very proud of. I have to give her some credit here because obviously she did something either skanky, or just so embarrassing that she doesn't want to say it out loud. Although maybe she did something that was noble and decent, but she's not proud of. Some people will hide the fact if they had to clean houses or, do manual labor because they think it's beneath them. So maybe she doesn't want to say that because maybe that's what she was doing. Maybe this man met her while she was cleaning his toilet. I don't know, in which case that is not honorable. But if she was doing something really skeevy and she doesn't want to put it on tape and put it out to the world because she has a child, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt that maybe that's it. Regardless, she's still being passive aggressive. And when you say, oh, respectfully, you got it again, and you just keep repeating that, you're not being respectful. You're just being awful. And I think the problem with women like this is that nobody ever told them off. She's obviously gotten away with this for a long time because this is embedded in her personality to just be so rude. She never has been straightened out by anybody. And I just don't know how I find her completely insufferable. If this is really her personality, or maybe I hope it's not. I hope this is just something she was trying on for the show that really is a terrible fit. Ugh, yikes.
Are women entitled on first dates? And then you said yes, and they should be. I was like, all right, cool. And then you said you need a date in your tax bracket. And I was like, well, that doesn't make sense because most women don't date in their tax bracket. And I was asking you to explain. You couldn't articulate. Instead of like, you got that. I'm like, what does that mean?
No, I said that I'm not going to speak on what I did before. I said you don't know that.
That came after the fact. But I was asking you, that doesn't make sense because most women don't date in
Are you
tax
just going to
bracket.
keep on saying what I didn't do when I'm telling you what I did say?
I'm talking about in general, not you. You brought it back to yourself. Man.
Castlevania.
Bro, it's
wow,
incredible. If you're going to make a point, ladies, be prepared to defend what you say if I'm asking you to clarify. Women typically don't date in their tax bracket. Let's just be honest here. They just don't. They date a guy that makes more money than most of the time, or want to date a guy that makes more money than them. And then what you're saying is you should be entitled to an experience. Well, for a guy to provide you an experience, a lot of times he has to have excess resources. So by default, a lot of times if they're providing you an experience, they're probably not in your tax bracket. They probably make more money than you significantly. Not
everyone's a scammer, by the way, or drug dealer. Not everyone. Just saying.
I mean, y'all don't even pay taxes, so how do you know what your tax bracket is?
So the question here was, do modern women feel entitled on a first date? And there were, they went around the table and everybody said what they thought a first date should look like. And because I said I think there is an entitlement, because I see a lot of these young girls on the internet saying that they have to just have men pull out all the stops for a first date. It better be spectacular. You know, you've got to go to a 5-star restaurant and you've got to drive in a fancy car. And, you know, of course he has to pay for everything, which, you know, I agree with. But I don't think on a very first date, when this guy doesn't even know you and know if you're worth his time at all, if he should be, you know, spending a fortune on you, especially if he's not independently wealthy. I don't know where this I'm so special and I deserve the best thing. I mean, I always say, like, as a woman, you know, show up with your B game, you know, let a man earn, let somebody really grow in your life and save your A game for somebody that really deserves it. And your B game should be pretty good. Should be enough that, like, somebody says, oh, I want to hang out with this person again, if you're a decent person. But everybody is so eager to be impressed so that they can go out and go on social media and say, oh, he took me here, and oh, we did this and we did this. Like, who are you trying to impress? Just go out and have a nice time and see if this person is even halfway decent and has any of the same morals and values as you and any of the same goals. This is just gold digging shit here. Gold diggers. That's what half of these girls are.
Just saying.
I mean, y'all don't even pay taxes, so how do you know what your tax bracket is? But anyway, you were saying something?
She's trying to be smart.
What'd she say?
Say it.
You heard me.
What'd she say? I don't even...
This isn't as cute as you think it is at all.
Nobody's trying to be cute.
Yeah, you're trying hard and it's not working.
If you don't like it, you don't need to listen.
You're in my ear. Sorry. God, how do you do this?
How
do you fucking do this all the time?
I don't know, man.
Yo.
You're a Christian?
Yeah, I'm not Jesus. I'm trying.
Christians say fuck. It's okay.
It's wild, bro. All right.
Yo,
anyway,
that's scary.
just...
That was me, like,
That's scary.
You
letting off the tiniest bit of steam. You don't know unless you've been in this situation where you have to be polite and you're on camera and somebody just makes you want to flip a table. I don't know. This is where I learned what it means to be castled. I didn't even know that word, you know, because I'm obviously the oldest person at this table and I don't have my Urban Dictionary memorized yet.
You need to tone back the attitude, though. Like, you really need to tone it back. I'll give you a warning, but, like, you need to chill out. Like, I'm not your baby daddy. Don't talk to me crazy.
You're not my baby daddy. I don't know why you're making comments like that. Like, if you want respect, you give respect.
I'm giving you respect by asking you a question and asking you to clarify.
We're agreeing to disagree.
You can't even articulate your point. There is no disagreement. You can't even articulate your point.
We don't have to speak on this topic anymore. You can move on to the next person.
Who shows it?
You're dragging it out.
Who shows this? I was just about to move, and now you want to, like, shut up when I'm talking. Like, I was literally gonna just move on, but you had to get in the last word. This isn't your show. It's not your platform. You're here as a privilege. And again, I'm not your baby daddy, so you're not gonna talk to me that way. Period. All right?
Couple things. One, yeah, you're in his house, in his show. Have manners. When you show up in someone else's space, keep it together. Do not act like this girl and be so disrespectful and so cute about it. She kept leaning in with the breathy stuff. It is not okay to treat people disrespectfully anywhere, especially when you are a guest in their environment, work environment or home environment. Second, this term baby daddy, can we please kill it? Baby mama, baby daddy, it is the trashiest stuff. It is just one more way to break down the importance of motherhood and fatherhood and what a tremendous and valuable role that is in a child's life and in society. People just running around, oh yeah, baby daddy 1, baby daddy 2, baby mama 1, baby mama 2, baby mama 3. What are we doing? Class up, America. Let's go.
All right? No, shut up. Don't even say it. I don't care.
Is there any
I don't care what you got to say.
Is there any
I don't care what you got to say. Be quiet.
For you to talk
Be
like
quiet.
that?
Be quiet. Oh, then get the fuck off. Leave.
Perfect.
You're
Even
mad.
better. Even better. I'm not mad at all. You're very disrespectful. You're very rambunctious. And again, I'm telling you what I'm not going to tolerate. I'm not going to tolerate the fuckery. You can leave. Exit.
All right, so he kicks her out. He lost his cool there. And even him losing his cool isn't all that bad. I mean, he's not, screaming and flipping tables. But you can see that this girl just got under his skin. And I can't blame him because I was so relieved when she left the room because she was under my skin. I admit it. I can't deal with passive aggressive nonsense, and passive aggressive is bad enough. But when you're passive aggressive and you're not smart, oh my goodness. I mean, it's just one of the worst combinations there could be. Ugh. Terrible personality. Terrible. And I'm not going to say it. All right, I'm going to say it. And a terrible boob job, too. Just why? Why would this beautiful young lady do that to herself?
Incredible.
Praise Jesus.
We're not here to have low IQ retards that want to hurt the show, that can't even answer a simple question and or clarify their points. Fucking moron. Anyway, where are we at here? Okay.
She thought I was cute.
Bro, get the fuck out of here, man. And spicy. What the fuck? Well, I don't like spicy food. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
I told you Puerto Ricans are crazy, bro. I told you.
Nah,
Who's
not
watching
even
our
that.
bags?
She's just, bro, I've dealt with plenty of
Somebody
Puerto
in
Rican
there?
chicks, man. She's just a retard, bro. She's just a retard. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught that. I said, who's watching our bags? Because they held all of our pocketbooks and phones in the back. And I just didn't trust her either. Anybody that acts like that, like, I'm not trusting you as far as I could throw you. And I was sitting there and I was like, she's going to steal our wallets. Here we go. She's going to leave. And it turns out she didn't. But yeah, I did make that assumption.
Comes down to dumb chick that can't articulate her points. Whatever. Okay. Are modern women entitled on first dates, in your opinion?
Yes, and I do feel like sometimes it is justified and sometimes it is just very unreasonable.
Okay, and the times where it's justified, what do you think makes it justified?
Depending on, say, how the guy that asks the woman on the date is, let's see, carrying himself, or if it's one of the guys that, if they invite you on the date and they're just like, hey, if I do this, this, and this, I expect certain things afterward, you know? And then sometimes with that speculation, girls get a little hot-headed, like, oh, if you expect this out of me, what you did for me, this and the third, and it's just, and then they start asking for everything and beyond once it's being said that, like, hey, if I take you on this date and you agree, let's go here. After this date, I want something. I've noticed that usually it's when it's that demeanor, that's when girls are just like, listen, you need to do something for me, because what do you mean you want something from me? You know, like, I just agreed to get.
Does that happen? Somebody say something in the comments and let me know. Like, do men talk to women like that? Like, yeah, I'll take you here, but you got to do this for me. Like, is that where we're at for young people in the dating scene? All right, call me old fashioned. You go on a date. You expect nothing from each other after the date. You might hope for something, wish for something, might even get something, but to expect it like it's a trade, like it's a transaction, dinner for action. I need to know. Like, is she just kind of pulling this out of her ass, or is she exaggerating, or is this a real thing?
I just agreed to get
niggas
food.
Doing that for real? They were telling girls, I want to smash from the very beginning.
Just
like
because you accepted to get food. Like, that happens often. And then I do.
Some tricks want their money up front.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Talk about directness. God
and
damn.
I think it's because of that directness that's become a pattern. A lot of women have became like prone to being just kind of set to dealing with that. Yeah, very much.
Okay. I mean, that's crazy though.
All right. Interesting. Okay. So you're saying it is justified on some situations based on what the guy is asking in return.
Yes.
Especially if it's like sexual or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the women are going to be entitled to reciprocate the guy wanting sexual access immediately.
Yeah, I feel like it's just matching his energy. If you want to ask for crazy things, then she's going to as well.
Okay. And what about you? Do you think modern women are entitled on
All right. So she's saying that if a guy says, okay, I'll take you to a nice place if you, later, that the woman then is just like, okay, great. But then I want to be able to go there and I want to be able to order the best steak and the best champagne and okay, do we have a deal? Like, okay, no lady is doing that. Just for the record. All right. So if there's a, skank girl who's a gold digger, who doesn't mind sleeping around, who doesn't mind getting paid for sex, she's going to do that. But for her to suggest that there are a lot of girls out there that will like level up or rather level down to that, I just don't buy it. An indecent girl isn't going to do that. They're going to call their friends and be like, you don't believe what this guy just said to me? Oh my God. Maybe I just live under a rock. Or maybe this is, Miami specific, because I don't think regular people act like this. I know Miami people are a little full of themselves, so maybe there's more of that going on. It's a fantasy land like Hollywood. Please, I don't think I could live there.
first dates in general?
I'm not sure that I even consider myself to necessarily be a modern woman.
Okay.
I think what I've gathered maybe just through social media. Yes, I think they do find themselves to be quite entitled. But I think maybe it has to do with the environment that we're in too. This is South Florida. And
this lady is a modern woman, even if she doesn't want to admit it. She was actually really nice. I really liked her. But to be perfectly honest, I looked at her Instagram and it's her in like half naked, very provocative poses. She's got a couple of kids at home. She's a single mother. You know, she's talking about relationships and how she'd like to have a relationship. And it's like, what kind of guy are you going to get when you're, you know, showing your rump all over the internet? What are you really going to attract? You're not going to attract a more traditional man that she seems to want. I really liked her, and I have to say I really hope she puts that aside because she's beautiful, and she was, you know, smart enough, definitely smarter than that other half-wit. I kind of felt bad. Like, I want to tell her, like, please just be a lady. If you want to be a model, you can still be a model without being cheap. And you have a daughter at home, and this is what you're teaching her, that this is how mommy acts. I don't get it. So yeah, she's a modern woman, all right.
And this is a whole other animal down here. So I think that sense of entitlement carries through the culture here.
Okay. So you're saying it's, do you think it's present just in Miami or all over?
I'm sorry, I can't speak on other cities.
Okay.
I haven't dated in other cities.
But you think it's something from your experience here in Miami?
From my experience here in Miami, South Florida, yes.
Okay.
So I have to say that was really a very fun experience. Just so you know, like you go in, there's a side room where, well, you wait in the lobby, then they come down and get everybody at once. You go up the elevator into the condo where they have this really cool studio, and it has a lot of different rooms in it. And you go off into this side room that's a waiting room, and it's really well decorated and very comfortable. And there's a beautiful balcony overlooking the city. And you know, they had assistants there, and they made us drinks and gave us water, and it was really a very hospitable and super comfortable experience. And then you get in the chair, and you know, they tell you where to sit because they want everybody in a certain spot for whatever their logic is on how that works. Give you your headphones, everybody does a sound check, and they tell you all the rules and how you're supposed to act and what you need. You know, all the way down to like, if you're thirsty, just, you know, hold up your cup and go like this, and one of the assistants will come and bring you a drink, but, you know, don't interrupt the conversation for that. And so far of the podcast where I've guessed, by far the most professional, and I feel like they could, you know, have a school for podcasters on how to set that up so that your guests are good, because they really knew what they were doing. And I mean, just the technical setup was probably, I can't even imagine what it cost, because it was so cool and so elaborate. There were screens everywhere, and there were like 3 or 4 producers on the side, you know, making sure that all the sound and the video was good, and they're dealing with the super chats and all that. Man, it was a blast, and I'm so grateful that I got to go on at least once. And, you know, maybe I'll go back again next time I'm in town. We'll see. And hopefully that you got it girl won't be there, because I really don't want to deal with her ever again. Wow. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Drop us up. See you soon.